Yo, 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 it's overtflow. What's going on, you guys? How are you guys doing today? Gosh, my hair is just super messy, man. So we're gonna be wearing a hat for the majority of this video. Jiu-jitsu hat, boom, whatever. We're gonna be talking about the whole fat shaming thing and the dear fat people. I wanted to give a response to it. So many people are talking about this lately, and I feel like I want to throw my 2 cents because I'm somewhere in that range. You know, I've worked with a lot of people that are overweight. I've been overweight, I've been skinny, I've been fat, I've been buff, I've been this, I've been that. And I feel like I have a pretty good opinion on it. If you guys don't know, I worked with a health company for a while. In addition to that, all of my family is heavily involved in the gym. Most of my family, actually. So, like, my uncles were all competitive bodybuilders. My dad's hits the gym a lot, very health oriented. My mom's ex-boyfriend, so basically, like, my ex-stepdad was 300-pound power lifter, crazy guy, all this stuff. So I'm kind of, I've been around a lot of these workout type people, and I've been around a lot of people who are in shape, out of shape, all this stuff. So I think that I have a good point of view on it, and I wanted to give you guys my perspective on the whole thing because so many people are talking about it lately. And I just really wanted to put in my 2 cents. You guys have been asking me to give my idea on the whole thing, my thoughts on it. So here it is, you guys. I hope that you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you leave a like on this video. I would definitely appreciate it because I don't do these often, these type of vlog things. And I hope that you guys watch it. I don't even know if you will, to be honest with you guys. I feel like mostly my channel is an entertainment type comedy channel. Got the beard rocking full force, beastin'. Probably about to shave this off today. So I look like I'm 35. So I'm 24. But when I shave this, I look like I'm like 14. So we're probably going to do that later. But yeah, so I'm going to throw some pictures up on the screen of me right now so that you guys can kind of see me throughout the years, like my transformations, my fat stages, my skinny stages, my buff stages, so that you kind of can get an idea of where I am right now. So yeah. This is me as a kid. I was always a chubby little kid, and I pretty much kept that body type up until high school, man. So my sophomore year, I started getting into, you know, dieting and working out a lot. I only ate like salads and chicken, and I lost like 25 pounds. So I looked like that pretty much until I was about 18. This is me at 18, started working out more, and I weigh about 165 there. Then I got up, this is me at 180, doing all my fight competition stuff, doing all that good stuff. That's me at about 21 years old. And then I took a break from all the fighting stuff, and I gained a little bit of weight, started working out a lot. This picture on the right, I was about 220. Then I got up to about 230. And I looked pretty good still working out a lot, still doing good stuff. Then I had to have like some surgery and stuff, and I kept bulking. I got up to about 240. I had a little gut on me there, and yeah, so I got down. Right now I'm about 215, but this is a picture of me at my normal fight weight, about 195. So I just wanted to share those pictures with you guys before we continued the video. If you guys don't know, there's a YouTuber, I think her name's like Nicole Anchor or something, whatever, and she made a video about, it was called Dear Fat People. And that thing already has tons of views, so I you know, obviously my little amount of people are not gonna, it's not gonna affect it that much. Whatever. That girl's channel has doubled in size since she made this video. Crazy. I think she started with like 80K. Now she has like 170K. Maybe I should make videos being mean to people. I don't know, but good job there. But anyway, so this girl made a video talking about, you know, fat people. They gross her out, they do this, you should fat shame, you should definitely make people feel bad about being fat because it's the same as any other addiction. If you see a smoker, you know, people aren't afraid to be like, oh, this is a no smoking restaurant. And she said that there's no such thing as actual fat shaming. It's something that the people made up so that you felt bad for being mean to fat people, I guess, something along those lines. And basically she says, yes, you should make people feel bad for being overweight, and that's how it goes. And, you know, I just kind of want, and she kind of addresses fat people as a collective. Like, she's like, all fat people are the same. And I feel like that's just, the logic there is so, I feel as though that logic is just not correct to use. This is going to go to a quote. So there's a quote that says, it goes something along the lines of, it's a quote about war. So it's like, it says something like, the media and your country will make out the enemy to be monsters and, you know, ghouls and all this stuff, because it's easier for a person to kill a monster than it is for a person to go over there and kill somebody who's another human just like them. It's easy for this girl to address these fat people as like, ugh, disgusting creatures, instead of being like, this is a person who had a problem. Maybe they had flawed genetics. The genetics were crappy. In addition to that, they never learned proper eating habits, proper healthy eating habits. In addition to that, maybe their environment's just not suited. Maybe they got depression. I don't know. I can't speak for them. I'm not personally, I don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on with a lot of these people that are overweight or obese or whatever the case may be. And so I think it's unfair. And even though this girl claimed that she was coming from a comedy standpoint, I think that it was less comedy and more about getting a ton of views on the video, which is fair. I mean, everybody wants their stuff to be seen. Everybody wants their content to be seen. That's fair. That's cool. But don't put it up. Don't like put up a front and don't make it like some freaking, oh yeah, I'm trying to help you fat people. I'm trying to help you lose weight by being a jerk to you guys. You know what I mean? Some other words that we could use there, depending on what you think of her. But I can understand, like, if people think that's funny, I can understand where people are coming from. Sure. I think that, I think that there could have been some funny moments in it, but I feel like it was more mean-spirited humor, which for me personally, I'm not a huge fan of mean-spirited humor. I just don't like it because it seemed like she was more throwing out insults than putting out jokes. And I personally don't agree with it. And I don't think that, she claimed, hey, I just wanted to help you guys out by dropping this bomb of glittery truth in your face. And I don't really think that's the case, man, because if you go to her Twitter, I don't know if she still has it, but I went to her Twitter after I seen the video. On her Twitter, she literally was like, be mad, fat people, blah, blah, blah. Like that type of, maybe not the exact words, but basically that's what she's saying. Like, I'm glad you're offended, blah, blah. And then she posted a picture of her, like, eating a gigantic cheeseburger. And she's like, I can do this. And, like, you're not, like, if you were coming from a place of help, I think that you'd be a little bit more apologetic on your social media. I think that you would be like, listen, like, if I saw all that backlash and my video was really meant to help people, I would be like, on my Twitter, I'd be like, yo, that video was all in good fun. I thought it was all in good fun. I really do, hope that there are some people who say, you know what, it's done. Like, I don't want to be this person anymore and I want to lose some weight. That's what I would be putting on my Twitter. But for her to be totally, not remorseful whatsoever and be like showing off the fact that she can eat cheeseburgers. Now, if you look at the girl, I just want to point this out. She has pretty slender genetics. Like, she's skinny. And I want to talk about genetics just for a second because genetics does play a huge part in all of this stuff. And there are people who, and I think that the only people who say that it doesn't are people who are uneducated on the subject. People who are uneducated on the topic will say, oh, no, it doesn't matter. Genetics don't matter at all. Well, then how come you're 5'6" and I'm 6 foot? Genetics. How come I can bench 350 pounds and you can't? Because you're 5'6" or whatever, and you got a skinny build. Genetics, you know what I mean? People are all born differently. People all got different stuff, and we all know those people who are, whatever. We all know those people who are really skinny. Girls especially will know this. Girls know girls that eat whatever they want, and you're like, how do you do that? How do you do that? Me, myself, I have a friend, biggest pothead in the world. All he does all day, smoke pounds of weed, and then eat cheeseburgers all day. This dude is the most ripped dude I ever seen in my life. He's like 5'7", 8-pack. Dude, his abs are popping, ridiculous. Wide shoulders, skinny waist. He never works out. I seen him do, like, I went to the gym with him one time. He did 13 curls and called it a day. And we all know people like that. We all know people who eat whatever they want and they just don't gain weight. We know people like that. And it's funny that people are so quick to accept those people like, oh yeah, he just doesn't gain weight, or she just doesn't gain weight. She eats whatever she wants. It's funny that people are so quick to accept them, but the second you see somebody that's chubby or overweight or fat or whatever it is, and they're like, man, I eat pretty good. Sure, I have cheat meals, but I work out and stuff, and it's hard for me to lose weight. We're like, liar, you're a liar. There's no way, impossible. You're just fat and lazy. Like, I think that that's such a double standard. And of course, most people's idea of beauty and ideal weight and stuff is to be a healthy, fit person. You know what I mean? You don't have to have abs. You don't have to this. But of course, people say if you got a big old tummy, then you're not healthy. And obviously there's scientific studies to back that up and all that stuff. I personally am not for fat shaming or for fat acceptance. I'm not for either one. I just want people to like, I want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. But I also want you to make sure that you're there for everybody. And that's another thing too that I kind of wanted to touch on, man. People don't make it clear what they're talking about because this Nicole Arbour girl, Nicole Porta girl, she doesn't really make it clear in the video, and people don't really make it clear when they talk about it. Who are you talking about? Are you only talking about morbidly obese people? Is that all you're talking about? Just morbidly obese people? Because if so, you need to make that clear, because we all know that there's going to be some like 14-year-old girl that watches your video, and maybe she's not the skinniest girl in the world, but she's certainly not fat, and she's going to feel bad about herself because of that. Like, I know me, myself, You know, people see me, my friends see me, they say, oh man, you know, you're in good shape, you're a bigger dude, like that's cool. Me, right now, so if you guys don't know, I do jiu-jitsu and judo, wrestling, all that stuff. I do a bunch of MMA stuff. I actually fight at 185. I just took like 6 months off and I just like lifted weights and did all this stuff, ate whatever I wanted. I got up to almost 240, and right now I'm about 215 because I'm getting back down. I want to be like 205. I want to compete in that division, see how that goes. I want to be about 205. Right now I'm 215, so a nice slender 215. Me, big American man, freaking 215, right? But so for me personally, like even though I'm 215 right now and I'm smaller than I was then, I also have lost a little bit of muscle mass and all that stuff. I actually tore some muscles in my arm, so I'm gonna be out for a while just rehabbing and stuff, which sucks. I might have to get surgery, I don't know. But for me right now, like I feel out of shape compared to my normal self, you know what I mean? Compared to my normal self, I feel out of shape. So for me, and like I don't even think like I'm in that bad of shape. I'm an athlete, but I'm not like the most in shape athlete you'll ever meet, right? So for me, I look at those type of videos and I'm like, oh God, people probably think that about me. Like that's how I feel. And even though I may be wrong, I know that there's other people that feel that same way, and I just feel bad for the person who maybe doesn't have the I feel bad for the person who maybe doesn't have the same confidence that I have or whatever. Like maybe the 15-year-old girl in high school who thinks that she's chubby, and then she sees a video like that, and since you don't make it clear who exactly you're talking about, this girl might be, might be less confident or more insecure because of these type of videos. And it's stuff like that that's frustrating to me, because nobody ever really makes it 100% clear. I feel like even though maybe you could assume that people are only talking about morbidly obese people, I know people who are skinny. Like, dude, I literally have friends that are like 150 pounds, and even when I'm in shape, like, and I have some abs and stuff, they still are like, man, you're fat, dude, because you don't have, you got like, you got this, like, what is that? That's fat. Like, there's people like that who honestly believe that if you're not super skinny, you're fat, and it's just like, those people get a skewed perspective, and then people who are not even fat but a little bit chubby get a skewed perspective, and overall, I just don't think it's good for anybody. I think that all it does is hurt people's feelings, to be honest with you guys. And back to the topic of genetics and all that, yes, genetics play a huge part in it, more than most people give it credit for. You talk to anybody who's in physical activities, training, personal trainers, whatever it is, as long as they don't have an ego or whatever, they'll tell you, yeah, genetics plays a huge part in it. You're not going to look like, sure, you could be healthy for you, but unless you have awesome genetics, you're not going to look like Phil Heath or Jay Cutler, or I don't know who's somebody who, like, people, I feel like that's like bodybuilders. I don't know if you guys know those people, but the bodybuilders, famous bodybuilders, best in the world. You're not going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Everybody knows him. You're not going to look like Arnold just because you work out. You're just not gonna. You know what I mean? Even if you do all the steroids in the world, you're not going to look like Arnold simply because you don't have the same genetics as him, man. You just don't. You can look good for you, but even like, let's look at Arnold, for example. People are like, oh, you want a nice tummy? Me, myself, I have like weak abdominals. Even when I get abs, they're visible, but it's like no popping out abs or whatever. So and people will be like, why don't you just work hard on your abs? I will take you to the gym with me and we'll kill abs together. And I have taken so many people with me to the gym and done like abs, and they're like, Jesus, you do all this for abs? Why, where are yours? And it's like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like I guess I got crap genetics. But if you look at like somebody like Arnold, look at his genetics, right? He worked out, obviously, Mr. Olympia, all this stuff. He only had a 4-pack, right? So look at his tummy. He never once has a 6-pack. He always has a 4-pack. That's where his muscles are. That's his genetics, right? So you look at people like that, and I don't know. I just think it's unfair because most of the time these people talking about, oh, genetics don't play a part, are people who don't even like work with fat people, or people who don't even work with, people who just look at themselves and take themselves and they're like, I'm the base for everybody. Like everybody could be what I am, which is not true, dude. I don't go to the gym with somebody and expect to look like them. I honestly, like, let's look at my cousins, for example. One of my cousins is super buff right now, but my other one works all the time, has a girlfriend, does all this stuff. He eats like crap. I'm sure that, if he sees us, he's like, hey, I do salad sometimes, but whatever. He eats nothing but like Mexican food, Roberto's, freaking Cane's chicken. That's how he eats, man. And he still has a very, very slender frame. Big shoulders, small waist, maybe 5 pounds of extra fat on his belly. And it's like, there's people like that. Now, if he had crap genetics, he would have been super fat by now. I promise you that, man. But people just have different metabolisms and different genetics, different ways of burning stuff. And I think it's unfair for someone to be like, oh, just because you're different than me, we should shame you. Like, no, not entirely, man. I don't really believe in that. So anyways, I think that once it gets to a point, of course, you cannot blame genetics any longer. If you're a little bit chubby, like if you're in shape, but you still have like a two-pack and you got like a little bit of fat on your tummy, or you got fat hips or whatever it is, you can blame that on genetics, as far as I'm concerned. And from what I've seen, man, and the people I've dealt with, which is pretty extensive in comparison to most people, the people I've seen, dealt with, and all that stuff, I'm pretty heavily involved in like the whole gym life and athlete life. I'm heavily involved in that, you know? And I have to say, man, genetics plays a part, plays a big part. But if you're to the point where you're morbidly obese, or you're like, let's say you're 250 pounds or 275 pounds, and that's not muscle, then yes, at that point it does become your fault. You know what I mean? Like, unless you have some sort of medical issue or whatever, I don't know. But if it gets to a point where you have 100 pounds of extra fat on you, then yes, at that point, I don't believe that you can any longer blame genetics. I just don't think so, because at that point, there's stuff that you could have done to prevent that. There's stuff that you can do to get rid of that, and you need to do that. I definitely agree on the point with Nicole that yes, once it gets to a certain point, it's your fault. You need to do something about it, for sure, 100%. But to act as if these people aren't people and it's just like, ew, you fat creature, it's just wrong, man. You don't know what the person is going through. And I don't understand the whole idea of spreading negativity and, you know, wanting people to be mean to other people because of their weight. Like, what is that about, man? Like, what is wrong with you? Look in the mirror yourself. We should be spreading positivity, right? Spread some positivity, man. Let's make each other feel good. You know what I'm saying? Let's make each other feel good. Why make each other feel bad when you can make each other feel not bad, right? Quote by the Dalai Lama. He says, what does he say? He says, you should do your best to help people in this world. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. Right? I mean, who would disagree with that, man? But I just really wanted to touch on this, man. I feel like people should be spreading positivity, not negativity. Just decided to do a little weird vlog thingy for you guys. But yeah, so my thoughts on that is, if you're overweight by like 100 pounds of fat, then yes, it's your fault at that point. You need to take some responsibility and get on that train. But if you're, you know, chubby or whatever, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that most of these videos aren't aimed at you. So if you feel like that, because I know people who feel like that. I know girls, and everybody knows girls, that are like in shape and they're like, God, I really hate my body because of like the media and TV and this and that. And look at that girl over there, she's a size 0. But yeah, I don't know, man. But do she got a booty though? I don't know. She do. But for real though, you guys, I just kind of want to touch on all this. I just want to touch on the whole subject. People were asking me about it. And I just think that people should be nice to each other, right? You know, treat people how you want to be treated. I feel like that goes so far in life, and so many people forget that. Like, you know that as a little kid, and then you get older, and somewhere down the line you just think like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, no, it does. You know what I mean? So I just think that's pretty crazy, man, that people, I just don't understand. I don't understand the whole idea of spreading, I'm not going to say hatred because that's kind of rude and a little bit extreme, but spreading hatred, don't spread that. Spread some positivity in your life, man. But yeah, I don't know. I'm super bad at this. I feel like I could never get all my thoughts out at once. And I do all this stuff like off the cuff, off the top of the dome. I just kind of turn on the camera and I start recording. So if I missed anything, rest assured I probably thought about it. I'm just bad at putting it into words. I cannot formulate all of my thoughts into words. I don't know. I might be stupid or something. But for sure, you guys, I just kind of wanted to give you guys my thoughts on that. Be nice to everybody. Everybody's going through struggles that you know nothing about. And there are literally people that just, you don't know everything, right? You don't know everything, just like other people don't know everything. Sometimes people don't know stuff about cars. I know me myself, I'm not a big car guy, you know. Sometimes people don't know stuff about the computers, the Google machine. And sometimes people don't know stuff about health. Sometimes people don't know stuff about their foods, and it doesn't mean that they're bad people or anything. They're just not educated on the subject. And for example, real quick, wanted to touch on this. My sister and my mother, and my sister's a lot better, but for a long time, they thought that eating like Kentucky Fried Chicken or Cane's Chicken, which is like fried chicken and French fries, was a healthy meal. That's what they thought. Nobody ever taught them different, because it's chicken. That's what they thought, man. And my sister and my mother, skinniest girls you'll ever meet in your life. Super skinny, they look like they work out, you know what I mean? And I have friends who are just like that. They eat super crappy, but then once a week they'll have a salad and be like, wow, I'm really healthy. And those people need to start being healthy too, because they're fat, you know? And there's just people like that in the world. And that's somebody who just is also uneducated on how the human body works. So I don't think that we could be mad at either one of these people. You can't be mad at a fat person if he doesn't understand or she doesn't understand how to take care of themselves, because it's not taught. You know, do you go to school and you learn that? Not really. You don't really learn that, you know, you like what to eat exactly and all that stuff. And for the skinny person who doesn't know that, dude, I had this girl in my class, right? I had this girl in my class at massage school. She was like probably one of the older women in the class. All the people were there were like less than 25 years of age, and she was like maybe 40. And we were talking about obesity, and she said, I just don't understand how women can put on, you know, 50 pounds or 100 pounds after pregnancy. When I had my baby, I popped that baby out, and then I shrunk right back to the size 1 that I am. And she was like, you know, I don't have any fat people in my family, and I just don't understand how people eat so much to get fat. And it's like, whoa. She's just uneducated on the topic, right? But if that's your family genetics, and you say that you ate like, you know, you ate junk food and stuff after you had the baby and you still shrunk down in size, that's not you. You don't get to be like, yeah, I'm so healthy. No, you still ate unhealthy. You just are lucky because you shrunk right back to normal because you have good family genetics. That's like a billionaire son being like, I don't understand why everybody can't just buy a Lamborghini, you know? Shoot, I've always had money. Yeah, because you didn't work for it. That's from your parents. You know what I mean? So just a funny thought, man. I thought that was crazy. So we had to explain to her, like, everybody has different genetics. Like, I have friends that work out like crazy, but they eat one cheeseburger and they gain 15 pounds. I don't even know. The world's not fair, for sure. Just like I have friends who eat everything in the world and they never gain a pound. The world's just not fair, man. And I just think it's unfair to judge other people's situations and encourage any type of being mean to each other. Like I said, I'm not for fat shaming or for fat acceptance. I think that you should do your best to be healthy. Just do you. You can do whatever the F you want to do, man. You can do whatever you want to do. I love everybody. I'm a big people person. I love people, man. And if somebody doesn't want to be the fit life, that's fine. All I'm saying, for me, like, I wish that everybody would be healthy. If I see somebody who's an alcoholic, I'm like, oh man, I wish that they wouldn't drink as much. That way, you know, their life would be better. If I see somebody who's, you know, morbidly obese, I'm like, man, and they're at McDonald's, I'm like, man, I wish that they knew that this was bad for them, you know, or I wish that they would take steps to stop doing this, because then their life would be better. Or if I see somebody who's like a heavy smoker, man, I wish that they, you know, didn't do that, because it's proven that your life will be better if you don't. You know what I mean? So, just some thoughts. I'm more for spreading the positive message, right, guys? So I wish that no matter what somebody does, unless they're like, I don't know, murderers, no matter what somebody does, I would hope that everybody would be kind to them, just like how you would want somebody to be kind to you if you were in an unfortunate situation, right? So, just my thoughts. This was a really long video, you guys, but I wanted to go ahead and get that all out there. I don't even know if I said everything that I want to say, but I think I said a good amount. So I'm not even sure if you guys will watch this, to be honest with you guys. If you made it to the end, though, I would appreciate it if you left a comment down below saying, I don't know, spread positivity. Can you say that? Say something like that down below. Good vibes. Say good vibes in the comment section below. And leave a like if you're still here, man. But I just want to touch on all that stuff. I think that it was a good topic, and there's still a lot that I probably missed. So if I miss anything, please leave it in the comment section below so I could go back and see what I missed, because I know that there's a lot more that I want to talk about that I just didn't get to. So yeah, long video. Love you guys a ton, and I am over and out.